Cambodia's awe-inspiring Brahma temple, Angkor Wat, a symbol of a great civilization, glowed in the sun and glory for more than 500 years till the 13th century. It still stands in solitary splendor. Other architectural marvels and symbols of a shared civilization like Borobudur, Parambanan, Champasak in different parts of Southeast Asia all resurrect the synthesis of cultures and sensibilities. Time's inevitable ruinations, however, submerged these enduring symbols. It took hundreds of years to rediscover these magnificent monuments from impenetrable foliage and weave together a past that was embedded in them. They reveal the epic narratives of the resilient traders who went on long and tough journeys on foot or in small ships from different parts of India towards the morning star in the eastern horizon. Culture, religion, and oral traditions followed their footsteps. Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Jataka tales arrived as epical signatures and became part of a common heritage. No bloodshed, no wars were fought to expand this intellectual and spiritual influence. However, the dynamics of colonialism and Cold War smothered these common civilizational bonds between India and Southeast Asia. To make up for the lost decades, India initiated its Look East policy in 1991. It coincided with the Economic Reforms Program. Domestic demand-driven growth created new energies and growing markets that transformed Indian industry and economy. Private businesses became globally competitive. They enlarged their presence all over the world. The 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, provided a unique opportunity for India to develop its multifaceted relationship with member nations, both bilaterally and regionally. India became a sectoral dialogue partner with ASEAN in 1992 and a full dialogue partner in 1996. Since 2002, annual summits strengthened ties between India and this dynamic bloc.
If you look at ASEAN and India, we share many things together. Yeah? In terms of geography, India is a neighbor of 3 ASEAN countries, Thailand, Indonesia and Myanmar. Second, if you look at in terms of civilization and culture, you can see the presence of the Indian civilization and culture all over Southeast Asia. Now if you look at trade too, I mean we are not new to that. ASEAN and India has been trading for many centuries. So in a sense I would say we are natural partners and we are now tapping on those strengths that we have.
ASEAN holds great promise. It's a market that has been growing robustly. It has an unfolding treasure of resources, solid infrastructure, stable governments, and established regulatory mechanisms. This has helped promote India's economic engagement.
I think ASEAN is, ASEAN as a global bloc has really emerged a number of years ago. They were really manufacturing tigers because, as you know, they always call them the ASEAN tigers.
Every country has a different offering. If you go to Vietnam, it's black pepper and coffee. If you go to Indonesia, it's cocoa, palm oil, natural gas, and minerals. Malaysia with the palm oil and the rubber and such. Thailand, rice and sugar. And you could pick the potential contribution of the trade partners, but also too that they trade with each other. It's just the energy level of what the Indian trade brings. The firms are there, the education level and the sophistication of the traders are there. The wealth generation of the finance and trading communities, it's incredible. It's Asia's time.
The ASEAN region has been growing very strongly for many years. And if you look at it in economic terms, it's a huge market. It has a lot of resources. It's got a good labor force, So the conditions for ASEAN to develop as a whole were always quite positive.
Let's take a very simple equation. ASEAN 600 million population. India, 1.2 billion population. Population of the world, 6.7. Asian, looking at it from a wider perspective, has close to 58% of the world's population. And this is why we are looking at it from the perspective of enhancing a whole lot more collaboration between ASEAN countries, India as well.
In 2009, India signed the FTA with ASEAN countries. Import tariffs for more than 80% of imported goods between 2013 and 2016 were lifted.
ASEAN has got a free trade agreement called the AFTA, ASEAN Free Trade Agreement. What this allows us companies to do is, if you have an ASEAN operation, starting from 1st of January 2010, there is a 0% custom duty for trade between the countries if it is an ASEAN product. This opens up a huge opportunities for companies setting up operations in any of the ASEAN countries. So therefore, the companies can set up a hub in any of the countries, but the goods can flow freely between any of these countries.
It has a comprehensive economic cooperation agreement, SECA, with Singapore and Malaysia.
SECA has really sort of given a fillip to Singapore-India business ties, because it's awakened each other's interests in each other's countries. We've seen a number of Singapore companies go into India as a result of SECA, and vice versa. We've seen a number of Indian companies set up shop in Singapore. That has really contributed to the growth of business between the two countries. For us, you know, the trade agreement in goods has really helped, because number of goods have seen reduction in tariffs. There have been a number of goods which can be, which you can develop further in Singapore and export to India under beneficial tariff arrangements. In the financial sector, we've seen a number of Indian banks come here, and we've seen a number of Singapore banks develop branches in a number of Indian cities.
A similar pact is being negotiated with Indonesia and others. These agreements mark a paradigm shift in India's economic relations with Southeast Asia. India's bilateral trade with ASEAN has grown over 20 times since 1990.
The India-ASEAN agreement has given access to ASEAN products into the Indian market, which is a huge market. Out of a population of 1.2 billion, you've got 300 million with tremendous purchasing power. Now, 300 million represents the population of the United States of America. So all the ASEAN countries are currently looking at India as an emerging market. It's a very important market.
Clearly, it's the size of the market. The domestic market is very, very big. The middle class is growing. Economy is growing, everybody knows. It is second to China. So it's the size of the market and the potential that attracts us to that market.
The country's vibrant corporate sector has added dynamism to this relationship. It has supported and participated actively in the growth of this region. Not only capital, skills, professional competence, but their courage to experiment and take risks is evident in diverse sectors ranging from steel to Ayurveda.
I've been involved in Ayurveda since 2000, when my husband brought it back from India. He visited India and he thought that it was something that Malaysia should have, because we have a lot of Indians here, and a lot of Indians at that point in time, they go back to India to do their treatments. So having heard that, he was thinking that, you know, why not give accessibility to Malaysians to this wonderful Indian heritage, you know, that India has, is such a wonderful medical system.
In the last 2 decades, Indian companies have expanded their economic and technological capacities in the ASEAN region.
We find working with the Indian partners extremely professional, and I think we are very pleased with what we have done so far.
I hope the culture of the Indian business can be also transferred to Southeast Asia, yeah? Because I always consider the Indian business is very dynamic.
We see a lot of expertise in IT and also telecommunications from India. So many of the recent inflows of Indian professionals coming to Singapore are in the IT field. Another area is in banking. I think we see a lot of very experienced bankers, professionals from India. Compared to India, I think we are less experienced. And I think if we could join hands, I think that would be a great opportunity for both India and Singapore, ASEAN to work together.
Companies like TCS, Mahindra Satyam, NIIT and Aptech have set up ventures and are providing key networking capabilities to these countries. Leveraging the English language skills in the Philippines, over 20 Indian IT companies have invested in the BPO sector. A conducive environment has helped several pharma companies enter the ASEAN market.
Is like offering of a quality medicine at a very affordable price, and increasing acceptance to the generic is also encouraging markets to accept the Indian pharmaceutical companies and the products.
Traditionally strong in textiles, Indian companies have invested extensively in Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. Recron Malaysia, a subsidiary of Reliance Industries, is today the world's largest integrated textile polyester complex with over 7,500 employees.
Recron exports 90% of its output outside of Malaysia. Our export earnings in 2008 and 9 were between $750 to $775 million, and the year 2010 we crossed $900 million. It's valuable foreign exchange earning for Malaysian economy. We have 7,500 employees, of which 3,750 are Malaysians. These are direct employment, and we create an indirect employment of 25,000 employees.
Aditya Birla Group is Thailand's leading synthetic yarn manufacturer and exporter. The group has made huge investments in chemical business too.
Aditya Birla Group started almost 4 decades back in Thailand. That time our legendary leader, Mr. Aditya Birla, thought to come out of India to make investment. At that time, he started just with $2 million investment, and today the group has grown up with almost 10 manufacturing companies, 4,300 employees, and total investment now almost $1.5 billion.
There is a great potential for ASEAN to invest in India too, especially in the realm of road and telecom infrastructure. Maxis of Malaysia has invested substantially in the telecom sector in India.
Well, actually, the potential that India offers as a country with great number of subscribers waiting to happen is not something that has escaped anybody's attention. And the world over knows that India has a huge domestic demand.
Companies from ASEAN are building India's infrastructure. Malaysia Airport Authority has collaborated with GMR India for building airports in Delhi and Hyderabad.
Well, we have a partner in India, GMR. We're working very closely with them. The aviation market in India is booming, and it's expected to grow even more for the future. So therefore, there's a lot of opportunity, not only for the airlines, but for the airports as well. And as the demand grows for more passengers to travel, we will need more capacity.
UEM, through its subsidiary Plus, is building 2 expressways in the western part of India.
Our footprint in India covers every opportunity that there are, and India provides that, vast opportunities for the group because we're in the business of construction, expressways, facility management, and so on. So in terms of presence, yes, we're there. We currently employ something like 3,000 people across, the continent, and we see that as the next frontier, if you like, beyond the Malaysian shores. And what attracts us is the fact that India is just next door, if you like, to Malaysia.
When we look at India, we feel that India offers a very good opportunity because India has great plans in terms of trying to develop their infrastructure development. So we feel that we can bring in our expertise and experience and leverage on the demands that's required in India.
Sembcorp of Singapore has a joint venture with Indian partners to build docks and shipyards in the southern part of India. On the other hand, India's expertise in railways is being sought in Indonesia and Malaysia. Companies like Ircon are executing high-value projects like laying and strengthening tracks, electrification, and construction of railway stations.
So far we have executed about more than 20 projects, and in that process we have either laid new or relaid more than 300 kilometers of railway track in Malaysia. And that constitutes almost the entire works wherever track renewals or doublings have taken place in the country. The current project and even earlier also, it has been a total lump sum contract including design and build of all aspects of the railway working, including station buildings, infra works, earthworks, bridges, railway electrification, tracks, signalling, including the material procurement and their execution at site.
The ASEAN region has a very attractive market size. It has a well-developed supplier industry, excellent infrastructure, uninterrupted power supply, and cheap and skilled manpower. Due to these reasons and more, the Indian automobile industry is grabbing opportunities thrown up by the opening up of this sector in this region. Almost all the large automobile companies have set up manufacturing bases in the ASEAN countries and are expanding their capacities to explore new markets. Beyond trade, India's engagement is apparent in culture too. Different Indian dance forms are extremely popular in the ASEAN countries and have been adapted in various forms all over Southeast Asia.
Like Ayurveda, like yoga, you know, I mean, even Bollywood for that matter, Indian culture seems to be the craze for the world, and certainly Indian dance, Indian classical dance, whether it's Bharatanatyam, Odissi, or Kuchipudi for that matter, or Mohiniyattam, it seems to be catching on. Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. Sujalam.
Some Southeast Asian languages have strong roots in Sanskrit, which reflects their remote past relationship with Sanskrit. To quote an example, this ancient language has a deep influence on Thai literature and culture as well. The royal family here has high regard for Sanskrit learning. To promote Sanskrit study and research, the Department of Oriental Languages has set up a Sanskrit Studies Center at the Silpakorn University. The government of India contributed over $30 million towards construction of a new building for the center and also deputed a Sanskrit professor.
The fresh students, they want to know the Indian way of life and also the art and architecture and history of Indian art. Sanskrit is not only related to literature and language, it represents all the wisdom of ancient India. So they want to appreciate their culture through the wisdom of ancient India. So they want to learn Sanskrit. The Thai citizens, they look towards India as a place of pilgrimage. As they every year, most of the citizens, they travel to Bodh Gaya.
For us, Sanskrit is our chance to learn about India, to learn about the Oriental culture, especially Indian culture, that which is very close to our country. When we think about Thailand, actually we think of Buddhism, but here, you know, the Sanskrit is in our blood.
The Indian government is actively supporting the Narrowing the Development Gap initiative of ASEAN with less developed countries like Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos PDR and Vietnam, or popularly known as CLMV countries. It has offered to build schools, run entrepreneurship development centers and set up centers for English language training.
We still need your expertise in many things, because in developing countries, especially education and language, we need your help.
India is also investing in hydropower projects in CLMV countries. There is a huge opportunity for India to enhance cooperation in the agriculture sector with a view to meeting the challenges of food security.
Indian education, to me, I think very strong compared to us, And even now, I don't think we have any institute or university, strong like the institute that I came from Delhi, very strong one. That is Indian Agriculture Research Institute, we call Pusa Institute.
ខ្ញុំនៅតែមានចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍ថាជនឥណ្ឌាគឺជាជនដែលសំខាន់ណាស់
In Cambodia, the most important sector with the most potential is the agricultural sector, especially for Indian investors who must invest in this sector, maybe in an agriculture university.
Indian companies are processing agro-products like cashew, spices, sugar and others. Predictably, massive investments have boosted the economy and created large-scale employment opportunities. The Archaeological Survey of India is providing critical skills to preserve classical works of art and architecture like Angkor Wat and Ta Prohm. It is a complex job in extremely trying circumstances, but the finesse, patience and professionalism of the job done has come in for high praise. Together with India, ASEAN as a bloc has the potential of becoming one of the largest markets in the world.
And with the speed at which economic and business ties are being forged in infrastructure, science and technology, space sciences, information and communication, biotechnology, tourism and transport, health and pharma and other sectors between India and the ASEAN, it is clear that the member states want to make up for the lost decades. India and Myanmar are also working towards establishing a new trading route across the Kaladan River. The $132 million deal provides for upgrading port facilities at Sitwe, where the Kaladan River enters the Bay of Bengal. A 117-kilometer highway from Kalewa in Sagaing division to the Indian border is also being built. Funded by the Indian government, this project will not only improve trade and commerce, but also lend meaning to efforts to bridge gaps in the proposed road networks that connect India with countries sharing the same land mass.
Indeed, with better connectivity and lesser controls, India's engagement with ASEAN can make a beautiful dream come true. A seamless road and rail link from India to Hanoi. This will spur trade and tourism and revive a synthesis of people and creative ideas that has survived through hundreds of years. Truly, this is Asia's time.